Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I hope you had fun watching Monday Night Football if that's what you were doing. That's not what I was doing, but maybe you were doing that. How are you, Gayla, Lisa, Lindy, Laura T? Good to have you. Robbie, good to have you as well. DJ's here. Who else is here? Gambler made it. Diane is here. Texas is here. Cheated no more. Good to see you all. Everyone is here. Um, yeah, we have a lot of stories, a lot of weird stories tonight, apparently. They're all very odd, including, but this one's not odd. This one's a classic one. So I can't wait to do this one because it's going to be very good. Yeah. An update on Josie, Josie, Jodi. Now I'm going to mispronounce it, but it's Huisentruit, right? She is the anchor who went missing years ago. Gambler gave me the update for it. I thought they would never do any more searches for her, but apparently new information has led them to undertaking a new search. So if I remember correctly, she got ready one morning. She was on her way to like the 5 a.m. shift at the TV station, and she never turned up. And then the work started freaking out when you know, if your news presenter doesn't show up for their shift, you start going, "What the hell?" And um, yeah, they went to her house, and it's a real. It's one of those cases where you go, "What the hell is going on?" And how have they not been able to find her in like 30 years or so? It's really awful, and all that time, there's really just been no evidence of where she might be. So, yeah, let's play the update for it.
To new developments in the decades-long disappearance of former North Iowa newscaster Jodi Huisentruit.
The Mason City Police Department confirmed that a tip led them to an investigation in Winstead, Minnesota. Our ABC 6 News reporter Alexander Schmidt joins us now live from our newsroom with more on this development. And Alex, what can you tell us?
Well, Robin and Maisie, it's been almost 30 years since Jodi Huisentruit mysteriously disappeared from her home in Mason City. She's believed to have been abducted on her way to work one early morning in June of 1995, but the case has produced very few leads since then. KIMT news anchor Jodi Huisentruit was just 27 at the time of her disappearance. She was declared legally dead in absentia in 2001, but the investigation remains open. The Mason City Police Department confirmed that they recently received a tip that led their investigation to Winstead in rural McLeod County, about a 3-hour drive from Mason City and 100 miles from Long Prairie, where Huisentruit grew up. That trip was conducted about 2 weeks ago, but the department isn't sharing what they were following up on or where it fits in the overall investigation. In a statement, Chief Jeff Brinkley said the MCPD, quote, continues to receive, evaluate, and follow up information it receives related to Huisentrut's disappearance on a regular basis, end quote, and that there would be no additional information for public release at this time.
I promise, like, if we have news on this, we will let the media know. Bar none. Nobody, I think we all have the same interest here, and when we're there, and if we get there, we'll let you know.
FindJodi.com is a website of freelance investigators and journalists seeking closure to Jodi's story.
It is such a roller coaster for everybody who's been following this case, and mostly for Jodi's loved ones. I can't say it's major because we're not in a position to evaluate what they have, but clearly there was significant police presence.
Earlier this year, at an event commemorating the 29th anniversary of Jodi's disappearance, friends and family said that they aren't giving up until they find those answers and hopefully justice for Jodi.
Keep Jodi in your heart and send prayers and strength for the family and friends who also desperately need to know what happened. We all need to know where's Jodi and who did this.
Now, anyone with information related to Huisentrut's disappearance is encouraged to contact the Mason City Police Department or the Iowa DCI. And we have all.
Next year will be 30 years. It'll be the 30-year anniversary of Jodi being abducted, what they think is abducted, and it would be nice to have a resolution for that anniversary, to be able to bring her home, give her back to her family. I mean, it's been far too long, and I know there's a couple of suspects, people they think may have been infatuated with Jodi during that period of time. You know, she was a very public persona, being on everyone's TV sets in the area at the time every day. So she was well known. And, you know, we look at other missing people cases, you know, you look at Madeleine McCann or stuff like that. You know, Madeleine McCann was a child, right? This lady was a public figure. You would think if anyone had seen her in the local area, you know, even somewhere, you know, 100 miles away, someone would call it in because they would have seen her on TV. So everyone knew she was missing. It really is an awful case, and that car park scene outside of her apartment suggests that whatever happened between her leaving her home and getting to her vehicle, something really bad happened. I'm pretty sure they found a bent key inside, like either on the floor or just next to the car. They found a bent car key. So it was obvious that she was probably trying to get into her vehicle to get to work. And yeah, I think someone's grabbed her, unfortunately. But pretty terrible. 30 years and they still don't have a real clear idea of what happened to her. It's time those answers come to light. Chidnam also seems like a stalker with an obsession with her. I'm in two I'm in two minds about it, whether it was an unknown stalker who was infatuated with her through the TV, or she did have some people that she was dating slash she knew of them, but yeah, it's sort of not romantic, but yeah, it's hard, like relationship, but not really. So I don't know if they're involved. It's hard to tell, you know. So I hope by this time next year, I hope we'll have a clearer answer in what happened to her. Jill Dando, was she the one that was shot in the UK? Outside of her home, someone shot her. Is that one? April said she was a public figure, so that's possible. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, she was shot outside of her or just near her home, and I don't know if they know who did it or they don't know. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I looked into that one. But thanks, Gambler, for showing us this. It's interesting that they won't say why they were there. If it was something, you know, just not, you know, just a random tip or, you know, something they're just double checking, you think they would just say it. They'd just be like, "Oh, we had a tip come in, but you know, nothing happened." The fact that they're like, "We don't have anything to report at this time," is quite interesting. Maybe they're working on something. Maybe. This is the link that Gambler sent me. What does it say here? So she went missing. She worked in Mason City, Iowa. Went missing in the early the the early morning hours of June 27th, 1995. She was running late for work that morning and had called a coworker to let them know she was on her way. However, she never made it to work. The disappearance was quickly ruled an abduction, with her belongings found lying on the ground near her car in the parking lot. Yep. They're saying a witness also reported seeing a suspicious white van and hearing a scream. They said despite a number of leads over the years, she remains missing. And yeah, like you heard in the video, they actually declared her dead in absentia. So that means they declared you dead and absent. So basically, you can't defend it because you're gone. And yeah, it's all. I've always figured that whoever did it to her was from the town, and two, people know them. That's what I've always felt. I've always felt that, yeah, they're definitely local, and the person who did it was known to either probably Jodi, most likely, and other people. Like people know this person. And I think when it comes to light, they will be like, "Oh my god, I know that person." Marylander says, "Hi, Ping. Hi, how are you?" My throat's a little scratchy today. I don't know why. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. An obsessed local. It makes a lot of sense that it could be. You know, these people get very weird attachments to like media personalities. There's people who get very strange sort of infatuations with TV presenters. By the way, apparently, do you remember I told you that story about the guy who called in a 911 call to say that a bear was chasing him and had chased him off a cliff? Well, apparently he has been arrested. So yeah, I'm going to bring that update to you. Thank God. Thank the police and everyone else that he has been taken into custody. So his name was Nicholas Wayne Hamlet. If it'll play, come on. That's a terrible video. Thanks for that, News 10. All right, we'll find a different one. But they're saying authorities announced Sunday that he's been taken into custody after being located and identified at a Columbia hospital. That is very interesting. So he presented to a hospital? That is a very interesting way to get caught. Hold on, we'll go to a different one. Yeah, I'll find you one that has a good update. Yeah. Let's go to WBIR. Yeah, that one will work.
And also new for you at 10, the 3-week-long manhunt for a murder suspect is over. The Columbia Police Department posted on social media they found Nicholas Hamlet in a South Carolina hospital. A Columbia hospital employee recognized the suspect and notified police. The manhunt for Hamlet started nearly 3 weeks ago after authorities say he called 911 claiming to be an injured hiker in Monroe County who fell off of a cliff while running from a bear. Authorities say the story was bogus, but they did find a man who was dead. Where that call came from, and they say Hamlet is the prime suspect in that murder.
Yeah, so he's a prime suspect in the murder of the man they actually found. So when they came out to that 911 call, they actually located a victim, but it wasn't the person that he said it was on the phone, and he'd given them an ID that he'd stolen and had been using, and he planted that on his victim to make it look like that person was another person, almost like he was trying to fake his own fake death. So he had stolen this ID, had been using it since jumping parole in another county. It's like he's like, well, I'll kill this guy, make it look like it's me, so then people will think I'm dead. Yeah, it's like some sort of warped game. It really is. I don't. You'd have to interview him and ask him what he thinks. But look, the fact that they found him in a hospital is very interesting. Maybe he had injuries from his time with the bear, and they will be able to figure it out. I hope so. And then they'll figure out maybe why he had to kill that person who they said had been an acquaintance for a period of time before the murder. So hopefully we're going to figure out what is this guy's deal and why did he feel the need to kill that guy and then blame it on a bear. You mean he wasn't even smart enough to fake his own fake death? Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, the whole I reckon he may have had injuries from the original thing, like the original encounter with the guy he killed. I'm guessing maybe that's what happened. Hey, that's good news. Hey, that's what we want to hear. We've had good news with people getting tests. I believe it's in the everyone's good vibes are actually doing stuff right now. Well, I'm glad you are all clear. That was a very worrisome couple of months. No one wants to hear that. Yeah, back to prison. No more parole for you. No more blaming crimes on bears. No more doing that. You have to go back to prison. All right. Also, apparently, the local media in Australia just can't help themselves. They are just what's the word for it? Just awful. So I thought we were all under an agreement that we weren't going to name the 15-year-old boy that was killed on the weekend in Australia, right? We're all like, hey, he's a minor. We're not going to name him, but we will name the suspect who killed him. Well, no, apparently not. The Daily Mail can't seem to help themselves, and they have named the victim as 15-year-old Isaac, who was allegedly stabbed by Jacob Grieg, and that's a photo of him there. Bloody media. I mean, he's 15. You couldn't have just left him as that 15-year-old guy who died without naming him. Very, very disappointing because I thought they were supposed to keep his name a secret. But they're saying here that they have named him now. Here, they're saying 15-year-old Isaac was camping with friends at Wilton, just past the outskirts of southwest Sydney on Friday night, when he was allegedly stabbed by Jacob. Yep, we know that. They're saying here, that's why. Someone started a GoFundMe for him, and that's how people figured it out. There you go. It was a GoFundMe page that, released his identity to the wider public. So that's apparently the young man who unfortunately died over the weekend in Australia. Yeah, apparently Isaac's father, Paul, gave his permission for his son's name and picture to be used, told the Daily Telegraph that he wanted Isaac to be remembered as a beloved son, brother, and mate whose life was taken far too soon. Yeah, I think that's a way he can be remembered. They said at some point Greg got out of the vehicle. Yeah, we know all that. That's okay. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's worth updating you on, but not really. Just that they have ID'd with permission of the father, the victim from that weekend murder in Sydney. Not Sydney, but New South Wales. But there we go. Yep. So that popped up on everyone's news alerts earlier today. Reeby says, I've had little energy, so I slept a lot during the day. Just looked after my mama. Well, I hope you get better from this point on. I've always had glasses. Didn't you notice? I've always had it. I don't know, what show have you been watching? I guess if his dad's okay with it, then he's his dad. So, but yeah, I wanted to show you that as a little quick update. By the way, I was searching the Rex Human case earlier today, and I was researching more into Shannon Gilbert. So Shannon Gilbert is basically the person who unraveled everything to do with Rex Human was because they were looking for her. Some people believe she is not a victim of Rex, but some people believe she was murdered, and then some people believe she died accidentally. I was researching something today and I came across her 911 call that we've all listened to before. Apparently, some people reckon they can hear a female voice in the 911 call. Has any of you heard this before? I mean, I research Rex Human stuff constantly and have done for 10 years. I don't think I've ever heard that there was a female voice in the background of the 911 call. And there is someone put out a cleaned up audio of it. I'm gonna play it. I just want to hear what you have to think about it. Let me find it. Where is it? Shannon. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to pause this to switch it over. 1 second. I don't know if this is the right one. Hold on. This is from a guy called Troy Larson, but I don't know if this is the right one. The one I'm thinking of is smaller. Da, da, da. Why is this? Sorry, I'm just trying to find the correct one. This one, this one, this one. It must be. Yeah. Just listen to this one and tell me if you can hear a woman in the background at all. So I'm going to play it for a bit. And then you tell me if you can hear a woman. And while we're listening to it, I'm going to go search for the other one. Okay? Hold on.
Stop it, Mike, stop it. Hey, stop. Please take my control. You guys?
I'm near the water.
You guys?
Saying, let's go.
I didn't do anything.
631. 511.
Why? Mike, can you close that?
Come down in the night shift.
Wait. Why? 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 Why, Mike? I'm fine. Please?
All right. I found the one that has a small little snippet in it. Did anyone hear it in that particular audio? That's the cleaned up audio that's been decompressed and had the noise taken out of it. I couldn't hear it in that one, but Murder Inc., who have done a bunch on the Long Island killings over the years, they did a lot very early on in 2015 and a little bit later. They've been around for years. They used to have a website. So this is from their channel, and I hope they don't copyright strike me. But here.
Hello? 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 Hello, you dialed into the 911 system. How can I assist you? Hello? Yeah. Do you need the police? Yeah. Where? Where? Who's there with you?
So I get what they're pointing out. There is a some other female voice over here. So I don't know who that is or whatever, but that today was the first time I'd ever heard that they reckon there was a third what is it? 1, 2, 3, a fourth voice on the 911 call. But hey, Smelly Cat became a member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you. That's what I thought. I was like, I wonder if he had a TV in the background, because I was like, Michael Pack, her driver, gave a deposition, and he didn't mention anything else about anyone else being, you know, in that property at all. And I don't know under what influence he would have to lie. What does he care? He was getting paid to drive her to and from. Some people have some really crazy ideas about what happened to Shannon, including that Michael Pack sold her to Rex Heuermann and Joseph Brewer. And I was like, you're really trying to connect some dots here that are like 2 miles apart. I don't think so. What would Michael Pack have to gain anything out of that? He's already being paid from Shannon. All he has to do is sit in a car and sleep, and he gets paid money for driving her around. It's not the hardest job in the world, and he makes some pretty decent money from it. So, and yeah, I don't know. Personally, I don't believe Rex Heuermann was there on the night that Shannon died. I don't really buy into that theory myself, but I thought it was interesting. But what is it? It could be a TV. I mean, it could be just a TV playing in the background. It could be. Hold on. Let's play it one more time. It's just this bit here. So what they're trying to demonstrate there is the difference between Shannon's voice and this other noise, or what sounds like a female voice. But yeah, there you go. I caught this today. I was doing some sort of deep dive on Shannon because one of her videos disappeared. There used to be 2 videos when they released the 911 call. There was one that was from Suffolk PD. That was an unlisted video. That one's still around. They had a second one that was like a flyover of the entire area, and it showed you step by step where Shannon went, but that one's gone missing and I can't find it. So I was looking for it and I stumbled into this, but yeah, and then they say something like they reckon in this audio they say the cop and something like you will go to heaven now or something, but sometimes I wonder if this is do you remember when we had like the gold dress and the blue dress, and then they had like that stupid toy that was like thunder something, and then if you listen to it again it said ice master or something, I don't know. I feel like it's audio pollution. So it's polluting your mind to hear what you already want to hear. So when you read this title and then listen to the video, your mind gets polluted because you've already seen the words that they're telling you are there. So it's not a independent, you know, even if you do hear it, it's no telling if it's really there or not. Especially when something is so white noise and static like that audio. Do you think there was a ring that got covered up? No, not anymore. I used to think that back before we knew more about we used to about Rex Heuermann. I used to think that it had something to do with the police chief and some other more powerful people in the town, and I was steadfast in that theory for many years. But Now, no, I don't believe so. I believe most likely Rex Heuermann was responsible for all of it. I mean, there might be a couple of victims that he's not responsible for. That wouldn't be surprising. We already know that one serial killer was operating at the same time he was in his early days. Who knows if another murderer chose the wrong location to dump their bodies and wound up in one of the most prolific serial killers in New York history. So the doctor and the chief, the doctor, I think he's just a quack. I think he's just just a crazy old man. I don't believe he has anything to do with it. Yeah, you hear what you want to hear. Yeah. So whenever people give you this type of guidance when you listen to these really fuzzy audio clips, it's very hard to tell. And I often think um like they're already like pre-baiting you with that information. What they should do is just say, "Hey, listen to this audio and tell me what you hear." Not tell you what they think is on there. They should just let you decide and then read the comments and see what the majority say. DJ says, my opinion about this case, I think she had some type of episode, drugs, mental, and freaked out. Well, today I was reading the deposition for Michael Pack, and the one thing I will say about Michael Pack, he's an unreliable witness. In his deposition, which is here, I can show you a little bit of it here. He talks so he never talks in definitives ever. Like here, I'll see if I can find an example for you. Maybe back up here. But he said like they'll say something like he goes, "Oh, I think it was like Thursday or whatever." And the person interviewing him will say, No, I don't want to know what you think. I want to know what you know. And then he goes, Well, I don't remember. And that you'll see it here. He says, Well, here. And then I think he went there that day, I think. What day was that? Oh, we also called Brewer that day. Was it a Sunday or a Saturday? I don't remember. Actually, that's not a good example. Let's see if I can find one. Further up here somewhere, the lawyer really cracks into him for it. Let's see. They even had a recess and they had to have a talk about it apparently because he kept saying, I think. And that may be just his way of talking, but let's see. Yeah, like here, they get into it a little bit here. He's like, the witness, which is Michael Pack, says, You keep asking the same questions over and over again. And then Mr. Ray says, that's Shannon's attorney, or her family's attorney, says, Well, I need the right answers then. And the witness says, Tell me the right answers then. And Mr. A says, The right answer is the truth. That's why we're here. And the reason he's saying that is because he keeps talking in like non-definitives. Like when you get when you go through a deposition, you're supposed to give them like your A to Z of whatever it is. If you witnessed a murder or a shooting or whatever, you're supposed to just answer the questions with a yes or no or whatever the fact is. You're not supposed to go off on tangents or whatever. It's supposed to be cut and dry. It's not like a court case where you're on the stand where a lawyer is asking for your evidence. It is that, but they just want the facts. They just want you to say whatever the answer is. Not, I think it was a Thursday, but it could have been a Wednesday. And we drove left, but we could have driven right. That's not what they want. They want just the answer of whatever you remember. I was just trying to find you an example, but they jump on him a couple of times for it. Unfortunately, it's like 1,000 pages long. Uh, can't find it, but yeah, he often says, "I think," and then Mr. Ray is like, we don't want to know what you think, we want to know what you know, and they keep getting angry at him. I think it's way further up. Yeah, sorry, I don't think I can find it, but yeah, I would, after reading this document myself a few times, I would say that he is an unreliable witness. And what is sad about that is, besides Brewer, he should be the number one witness. He should be able to tell us a lot about Shannon, but he downplays his involvement with Shannon quite a lot. He's like, "Oh, I only worked with her for like 2 days, and I only drove her to like a couple of jobs, and you know, we never, we never hung out. I didn't know anything about her. I just drove her for money, that type of thing." Here. So they're asking him what was Shannon wearing on the night she went missing, and they're asking whether she was wearing blue jeans or not. And he goes, Michael Pack says, "I mean, I would guess that she was wearing blue jeans." And they say, "I don't want you to guess. I want to know what you remember." And then he says, "Honestly, I don't remember what she was wearing. I don't pay attention to what she's wearing." And then he's like, "Do you remember whether she had a white blouse on or not?" And he's like, "No, I don't remember." "Did the police ever tell you she was wearing boots?" "I don't remember." "So she went into the house. Did you see what door she went into?" "No, but I saw what door. I saw the door from the Sunrise Highway." And they said, like, how long we're in the house. But this goes on like several different times throughout this deposition. And yeah, they really lay into him a few times about his just an unreliable narrator of the facts, really. Tino Moss says, I think always leaves it open and changeable. Can't pin the person down on anything or what they know. Yeah, he leaves everything open ended. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Yeah, I did hear that they convicted Richard Allen. Very interesting. Rachel says, I just don't think he was ever telling the truth. Not sure we will ever know. All right, we'll play the what if game. The what if game. You can play at home if you watch on the replay. How many of you believe the official story that the Suffolk County PD put out about Shannon? That she was at Brewer's property for a session. He had hired her for the night, and that sometime between when she got there and when she ran out of the door screaming, she had had a mental break, and that she was suffering from some sort of psychosis or schizophrenia or something like that. Could possibly be drug induced, something like that. How many of you believe that? Or how many of you believe she was murdered by either Michael Pack, Joseph Brewer, maybe even Rex Heuermann, or someone else? You would have to let me know. There's also people that, you know, when Shannon was found, Shannon had been sitting in that tall reeds and wet area for a long period of time. It was many, many, many years. People are like, well, they tested her hair and her hair had no drugs in it. But I read in a report from a forensic tech on Shannon's case that because her body was out there for so long in the elements, testing for drugs in her state of decomposition and uh, deteriorating remains is extremely difficult, because it's not like you found a body a day after they died and then you tested them for drugs. there's no veins left, there's no muscle, there's no skin, there's no anything, and the hair's been sitting in the environment for many, many years. Sunshine, rain, mold, things that can contaminate, things that, strip it, sunlight bleaching, all sorts of different things. And I heard that it's almost impossible to get a correct answer from basically anything of Shannon, besides maybe DNA. DNA they could probably get, but trying to do a drug test on someone who's been sitting out there for many years in the elements is very difficult. A couple of people, there was a guy, an older man down the street, and a woman. She knocked on their doors. Cheetah Moss says, I believe they scared the S out of her and she knew they were going to kill her. Okay. I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate your point of view. There's a lot of people who believe that they were doing something. Because in her 911, she says something like, when Michael Pack comes in, she says something like, you're in on it, implying that Michael Pack knows whatever was going to happen and he was, behind it or in on it. And then she says, these guys are trying to kill me. Yeah, she says these guys are trying to kill me or something to that effect. Yeah. Laura says, I think the date's got to be rough. She ran and was taken care of wrongly. Maybe. Hold on. I need a drink. Hold on. Yeah, she was saying, don't touch me, get away from me. I believe that's when she's behind the couch. So when they first come into, because Brewer wants her to leave. It's at the end of the session. They had already extended it by an hour at least once, so he was having to pay her a lot of money. And then their time was almost up, and he wanted her to leave. That she was at the end of her allotted session or whatever, and I believe she was hiding behind a couch while trying to talk to the 911 when Michael Pack came in, and because Joseph Brewer had gone to his car, knocked on the window and said, "Hey, Shannon won't leave. Come and help me get her out. I'm done. We're finished. I needed to go home." And she wasn't leaving. Michael Pack testified in this deposition that Shannon was acting weird and, you know, irrational. Sean says hair follicle lasts, doesn't it? I heard no, not in this particular circumstance where she's out in the elements for so long. Reby says maybe Brewer got a hold of some of Diddy's tainted baby oil. Maybe. Could be. They say pharaohs were found with traces of cocaine. Pharaohs were also put in basically a tomb, basically indoors. Much more protected than whatever happened to Shannon. Shannon was in the. Actually, we can see it. Have you guys ever seen where they found Shannon? I can show you. It's in this like giant, sort of like weeded area. It's like got these tall reeds. That's not the best one. Let's see. It's basically this, but I don't believe this is the correct location. It's this tall, like reeds or grass or whatever this is, and she was found in there. But I don't believe that's the correct location, but similar environment. No, she was found on her own. It was out in marshy reeds. Yeah. I wish we had the flyover video. Hold on, I'll see if I can find it. The 911 flyover video is really good because they show you everything. That's what I mean. I was trying to find it, and it's gone. It has disappeared, unfortunately. Where did it go? I don't know. But it used to be up on Suffolk County PD YouTube, but now it's not there anymore. Let's see. So it's this area here. She was found here. This is where the street is. There's the home. She ran down the street, and she was found over here. Body recovered over here. I think some of her clothing was found over here. And they're saying that she ran down this there's like a channel here that they dug, and it's for mosquito control, and that she ran down the channel and then maybe turned and went up through here and was trying to reach the roadway, but for some reason never made it. So, all right, we can. Here, I can play this. And this little video here is a video they filmed at the same time of night, at the same time of year, to show you what it looks like if you were running through the same location as what she was doing in that marshy reed area. Yeah, I'll play it.
Of the trench, about 158 feet south of Ocean Parkway, approximately 3/4 of a mile from where she was last seen. There has been information received during the course of this investigation that other people might be involved in this incident. They have all been investigated, and there is no reason to believe at this time that anyone else is involved in this tragic series of events. The police...
Nearest corner street now.
Ocean Parkway. She says she's in danger.
Do you know her or no?
No, I don't. I'm not letting her in.
She's banging on your door now?
Yes.
Did she say what kind of danger?
No.
Oh.
And we live in a gated community.
What's your name, ma'am?
Barbara Brennan.
What's there a name to that community?
Oak Beach Association.
Oak Beach Association.
And I have an elderly mother here.
All right, I'll get somebody right over there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is drone footage and footage shot from the ground showing the marshland. It was taken at the same time of year and time of day as when Shannon went missing. These reeds can grow over 12 feet tall. They can disorient someone inside them, causing them to lose a sense of direction. One cannot tell where the highway is or where the bay is. The reeds and brush can become impenetrable in places. There's a trench running east and west through the marshland. This was created to allow mosquito control. It is believed that Shannon followed this trench. Personal belongings of hers were found just north of the trench. Shannon's remains were found north of the trench, about 158 feet south of Ocean Parkway, approximately 3/4 of a mile from where she was last seen. There has been information received during the course of this investigation that other people might be involved in this incident. They have all been investigated, and there is no reason to believe at this time that anyone else is involved in this tragic series of events. The police responded to collect or where the bay is.
So the video I was actually looking for from Suffolk County PD is this video, but not filmed from a media person's camera. They actually released the file that they're playing for the media, but it's gone missing. I can't find it anywhere. This is the only copy I can find. But yeah, so you can see that trench that runs up the middle here. That's the trench, this little dip that you can see right in the middle of the screen. Yeah, so they believe she ran up through there and then cut across and tried to go up here. She was only about 100 feet from the roadway. If if you believe the theory that she ran into there voluntarily, then she was only about 100 feet from a roadway and safety. So very tragic. About her mum, Mari. Yeah, I think a lot of people know. Her mum was killed by Shannon's sister a few years after. Yeah, she ended up being stabbed to death by her other daughter. So she lost one daughter to a terrible death, and then she lost the other one. She lost her own life to her other daughter who stabbed her to death. Damon's got a chase on, really? Let's have a look. It's late at night for a chase, right? I don't see a car chase. I don't know. There's not one in California. Oh, no, there is. Oh, don't do that. Yeah. Oh, hold on, guys. Yeah, I'll have to switch you back until I can get to the other video.
54th Street. Another right-hand turn here, circling another couple of blocks.
All right, so there we go. I can't leave the audio up because we will get in trouble, but I can talk over the video, and then I have to put up a thing that says ABC7. Yeah, I have to put up this when we use it. Oh, did he just stop? What happened? Oh, is that it? We got onto the car chase right at the end. Why did they stop? Did they get? Oh, the car is smoking like crazy. There we go. They gave up. The world's shortest car chase. Here, what are they saying? We'll have a quick listen.
And two passengers with their arms out the passenger side. Driver now facing away from LAPD officers.
So it sounds like the car got totaled. It is. I've never seen a car smoke that bad. I know, I do. I jinx all the car chases every time. It's terrible. Second time in 2 weeks. Oh, the car. Do you know? Apparently, one of the newsreaders was friends with the woman who died in that particular one. It's very sad. He was crying on the news last night. Well, there we go. The world's quickest car chase, apparently. This is from right now. This is live. This is live out of ABC7 in LA. Looks like they've given up. There we go. They're saying we've had enough, no more. It's a shooting suspect, really, with so many people? Interesting. Oh, really? Yeah, it's on ABC7. That's the website I'm using right here. Here, I'll post it in chat. It's right here. There you go. That is the website. The police should use me to stop all the police chases. They should. He's only Damon's only been on 5 minutes as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the car being on fire that made them stop. That made them finish it off. They're taking a long time. Here he goes. He's going backwards now. They're making him back up. Yeah, I'm going to load the story about the truck crash. We did that yesterday when it happened. Like, the moment it happened. Does look like a Mercedes-Benz, especially the front of it. Could be, yeah, Mercedes or... You can tell by the headlights. Oh, they made him go over there. They're like, hey, go all the way over there. Hey, Casper. Yeah, RIP, RIP car engine. Car engine unfortunately died as well. It looks like it's bin night in LA too. Look, everyone's got their bins out. You see it on KTLA? I posted the link to ABC7 in the chat for you. Yeah, it looks a bit busted. There you go. There's the other one. Does he have a friend as well? Or are they going to clear the vehicle? There he goes. Into custody. Taken away. Is that it? We got a third person. Oh, one more. It's like a clown car. It's a clown car full of people. People just keep appearing. All right. It looks like they're about done. Hey, I'm going to take us to Melbourne. I want to do the update on that truck crash. We're done with this. They released the name of that woman, by the way. Hold on. One second. Keep watching the car chase, and then I will load this up. Yeah, I'm going to take you to the ABC 7 in Australia.
Northwest of Melbourne is in shock this morning as police look into reports of a selfless act of bravery after a truck ploughed into a preschool, killing a teacher's aide and injuring a child. Investigators have been told the 43-year-old woman was trying to save others before she was killed by an out-of-control tanker at Riddles Creek yesterday afternoon.
A 3-year-old boy suffered a non-life-threatening injury in the incident that comes just weeks after a deadly crash at a primary school in Melbourne's east. Reporter Stephanie Ferrier joins us now from the site of the crash in Riddles Creek, north of Melbourne. Good morning, Steph. Just take us through this absolute tragedy.
Good morning, Bridget. You can still see the apparent devastation that was caused by this horrific crash behind me. I'm standing in the path of where this water tanker veered off the road. As you can see behind me, it clipped this tree, pushing even the bark off, and then smashed through a fence before crashing into playground equipment behind me, reducing it basically to splintered wood. Now, we heard that there was a 43-year-old woman, a teacher's aide, who was killed in this crash, and also a 3-year-old boy suffered non-life-threatening injuries to his upper arm. He remains in a stable condition in hospital. And we heard from Clinton Zammit. He is a local person here. He says that this is a really tight-knit community. His own kids went to this Montessori preschool, and he says that it was just such a huge act of bravery by this teacher's aide to be able to push other children and people out of the way. This is what he had to say.
I feel sorry for the poor woman that lost her life, her kids waking up in the morning today, having no mother, an unsung hero, to push away kids and, not, not care anything about, anything else but the kids. So she's a hero.
And we also heard from Bernie O'Sullivan. Now, he's the CEO of the Macedon Ranges Shire Council, and he says obviously the council will be doing what it can to support the community in this devastation. He spoke of the woman who has been killed. This is what he had to say.
Eleanor was, like many of our educators, just
Yeah, so she actually died while trying to protect children. She pushed them out the way, and she gave up her life to save that of the kids. That was her final act, was to help someone else, someone else's child. We already did the Hawthorne one already. We've done it before. Yeah, everyone here mostly has seen it. We did it the day it happened. Yeah, this one's different. It's very sad. I mean, you saw the photos of that truck. It's huge. It's not like a tiny little. It's like a tanker. Look, imagine that coming towards you through the playground, and you try and push children out the way, and only for yourself to be hit. I mean, that just shows you what type of woman she was. It really does. And they were saying today on the news, if I can get it up. Where is it? It's not here. Okay. Her name was Eleanor Bryant, and she was 43 years old. I'm just trying to find the correct link to show you the news segment from last night. Yeah, they were showing this last night.
Well, today, thousands of people are remembering Eleanor Bryant, an incredible mum of two, a selfless hero who died while saving her students from an out-of-control truck. Her family, her friends, an entire community shattered by the loss. And one of those people is Alex, who grew up with Eleanor. Alex, we're so sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, we're hurting, really, really hurting. And I think it's just easy if I read something I wrote a bit earlier. There are people in this world who you can't quite believe are so kind, so generous, so wonderful and caring. Eleanor Bryant, or EJ as she was to us, was one of those people. Eleanor was a light that lit up every room, never had a bad word to say about anyone. An accomplished speech pathologist, she was the eldest of 4 kids who grew up on a farm just outside my hometown of Coonamble, a community in northwest New South Wales where everyone knows everyone and they all look after each other. That community, I know, will be hurting today. My heart goes out to Adam, Claire and Michael and their wonderful dad, Andrew. Eleanor's mum, Cynthia, is no longer with us, and I hope that wherever Eleanor is up there, she's with her mum, Cynthia, reunited again and catching up on all that's happened over the years. Eleanor had so many friends, so many wonderful friends, and she would just do anything for anyone. That person who had that knack of giving you that sense that everything will be okay. To Tim, her husband, one of the nicest blokes you'd ever meet. We're thinking of you, mate, and your wonderful kids, 11-year-old son, a mad Sydney Swans fan, and their beautiful 9-year-old daughter. It does not surprise me one bit that Eleanor pushed those school kids out of the way yesterday to ultimately save their lives.
Yeah, but he actually knew her, and he was speaking on the news, and he broke down to the point where his co-host had to console him live on air. It's very, very sad. It just shows you what type of lady she was to do that. Not everyone would do that. Not everyone would save someone else's child over themselves, even if they worked in a childcare. Um, hold on. All right. Yeah, not everyone would do that. I'm just trying to find. There was another article they put out on her earlier today. No. Yeah, the Herald. The Herald says family of hero kindergarten worker Eleanor Bryant gives heartbreaking tribute to cherished mother, wife, daughter, and sister. You can see a lot of people leaving flowers at the scene today in that video near the school. And they're saying the family of a kindergarten worker killed when a truck plowed into her preschool says it has lost the light of our lives. They're saying mother of two, Eleanor Bryant, 43, died trying to push children out of the path of an oncoming out-of-control truck as it crashed into the Macedon Ranges Montessori Preschool in Main Road, Riddles Creek, about 2:20 p.m. on Monday. That was yesterday. They're saying a 3-year-old boy was also injured, but is expected to survive. They're saying here that, yeah, she was the light of their lives and that she's going to be sorely missed. Somebody keeps messaging me. Hold on. People don't understand when I say busy. They're saying Miss Bryant, a speech pathologist. I could use that. A mother of an 11-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl died at the scene. That's very, very awful. They're going to be missing their mum. And I don't even know how you explain that to two children, why mum doesn't come home. And a lot of flowers left for her. Yeah, that's a nice photo. They're going to have to investigate what the hell happened with that truck. So far, not a ton of information of how that tanker type truck ended up in a kindergarten. But we had a look at it yesterday, and it's right on the road. How come all the reporters come from the one town? Is that where they make them? Do they all come from one town in Melbourne? And that's where they're like, yes, my magnificent son or daughter, you will go on and live the life of your father's father and your mother's mother. You will become a news reporter. It's weird how so many news reporters all grew up next to her. I find that interesting. Oh, that's my thing. What am I doing? Yeah, her little kids will be wondering, well, they're gonna have to deal with it, being so young and having to deal with a death of someone they see every day, like a teacher. That's got to be extremely hard to work with. Yeah, small town full of news reporters, apparently. All right, I think that's about it. Let me just check for something. Yeah, Richard Allen found guilty on all charges. It's very interesting. We'll see if they appeal. We'll see if they appeal or not. Let's head to Florida very quickly. They're saying Lakeland father sentenced to 20 years in the hot car death that took the life of an 18-month-old baby. Let's play the video.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Linda Hurtado. And I'm Haley Hines. First here at 5, heartbreaking testimony and a plea for mercy at the sentencing of a Lakeland father who pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the death of his 18-month-old daughter. She died after being left in the back seat of his car. Prosecutors claim Joel Rondon's drug and alcohol abuse contributed to his daughter's death. As Fox 13's Carla Byron reports, he did not get the leniency he was hoping for from the judge.
After returning home from a 4th of July party, a Polk County Sheriff's detective testified Joel Rondon forgot his 18-month-old daughter, Isabella, in the backseat of his car.
He was instructed to get the victim out of the car, and when he came back after taking food items inside of the house, he saw that the door was allegedly shut, so he thought that the victim had been taken inside.
Rondon admitted to detectives to drinking at the party, and an FDLE crime lab analyst testified Rondon tested positive for meth and marijuana. Isabella's cause of death was hypothermia.
The highest temperature recorded during the study was 143.5.
143 degrees.
Yes, sir.
Rondon's siblings talked about how he was a loving, protective father to his 3 other children, though he had his struggles.
He had a hard time with the loss of my brother, and we all saw it. And I think it affected him more than anybody.
Rondon himself asked Judge Jalal Harb for mercy for not only himself, but for his kids and family.
No matter how events unfold during court and the decisions made will end, the idea of never again walking into my home and seeing my baby leap up and happily, oh, dad, has left me shattered and scarred.
Jasmine, Joel Rondon.
If it's going to leave you so shattered and scarred, then why did you do it in the first place? You know, the only reason your child is not here is because of you. Hold on, Mrs. Ping. Yeah, then why did you do it? That's not an excuse to kill children. We can't be like, yes, how many babies have you killed? I've killed 10. Why? It's all the drugs. The drugs made me do it. At the end of the day, it's their fault. If you are unable to look after the children, then you need to work out a better solution. If that's giving the child up, then you give the child up, and then they don't die in a hot car because you're off getting high. I don't have any sympathy for them, no matter how many blubbering words they have in court. I don't have any sympathy. I have sympathy for the kid who died a very horrific death, but for them I have zero. None. I don't want to hear you blabbering in court. I really don't. You just yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, yes your honor. That's it. And go serve your sentence. Ain't no sympathy.
Rondon's wife, who is also facing a charge of aggravated manslaughter in this case, spoke as a witness during his sentencing.
So I speak on my baby girl's behalf. And I can honestly say that she loved her dad so very much. Her eyes would light up every time she saw him come through the door. And she would show her excitement to be with him.
But Assistant State Attorney Tim Coleman says this is about getting justice for Isabella and holding her father accountable. The judge sentenced Rondon to 20 years in prison with credit for time served.
One of the most impressive facts of this case is that you decided to go back to the vehicle to retrieve your cigarettes. And you didn't notice the child was there. That was after the.
Did you hear that? He returned to the vehicle to retrieve a pack of cigarettes, but didn't check on the child. He deserves every day of 20 years in, if not more, in jail. I mean, treating children like they are some fashion accessory to just throw away or not play with when you're, busy doing something else is horrid. And yeah, your tears are worthless in court. They just are. Your tears are worthless. No one gives a crap. I don't give a crap. The judge don't care. Prosecutor don't give a shit. No one cares. No, they ain't going to get you any reduction in sentence. And it drives me crazy. Like, you're crying now. You should have been more concerned when your daughter was in a boiling hot car. Cry then, not now. If you'd cried then and been concerned then, she might still be alive today. Yeah, a pack of cigarettes more important than the kid, apparently.
This is not a question. Are you done talking? So you failed that child then. Or I should say, you continue to fail that child.
As far as Jasmine's case, she'll be back in court in December for a hearing where a decision will be made on whether or not she will go to trial. In Polk County, Carla Byron, Fox 13.
Let's hope she goes to trial too. I like that judge. The judge is like, time for your talking is over. This is not a question. You can shut up. I like that judge. Very direct. Horrific. I mean, these children that die in these hot vehicles. It really is awful. I can't think of a worse death. You think of an 18-month-old baby. They rely on the parents for almost everything. They rely on you to be their protector, their feeder, everything. And it's not like they could call you on their mobile and be like, bro, you left me in the car. No. So that child needs you. And, you're such a self-centered, awful person that you would rather get a pack of cigarettes instead of your child. That tells me a lot about you. They're saying they were returning home from a 4th of July party on July 5th, 2023. A Polk County Sheriff's detective testified that Rondon had forgotten his daughter Isabella in the back seat. He was instructed by his wife to get the victim out of the car, and when he came back out from taking food items inside the house, he saw the car door shut, so he thought the victim had been taken inside. He woke up for work around 11 a.m. the next morning, and he discovered Isabella's body. Rondon admitted to detectives to drinking 2 or 3 beers while at the party, and an FDLE crime lab analyst testified Rondon tested positive for meth and marijuana. Under the influence of these substances at once, Shaw said that someone can suffer from impaired judgment, confusion, and drowsiness. What about stupidity? Is that a symptom? Isabella's cause of death was hypothermia. They're saying the highest temperature recorded during the study was 143.5 degrees. They say Rondon's siblings talked about how he was loving, protective father to his other 3 children, though he had his struggles. His sister said he had a hard time with the loss of his brother, and I think that affected him more than anybody. Rondon himself asked the judge for mercy for not only himself but for his family. He said, no matter how events unfolded during court and the decisions made, and the idea of never again walking into my home, yeah, I don't want to hear from him. Sorry, I'm not going to continue that. He can shut up. They're saying, yeah, I don't want to hear from him. Have fun with 20 years in prison. Learn that babies are not accessories. Learn that they are not, secondary to you. When you have a child, it becomes your life. It becomes your one and only. Not the cigarettes, not the drugs, not whatever. It's the child. The child has to be number one. If you can't do that, then don't have any children. It's pretty simple. Chidno Moore says JSM describes this kind of death as excruciating. People do not just slip away like some people assume. No, they basically boil to death. It is like being placed inside of a very like half heated oven. So it's like being slowly cooked to death. It's awful. Yeah, I don't get it either. Like the guy in Arizona. That guy, that's the next one we're going to do when he goes to trial. No, he doesn't. There was I actually haven't checked on the one in Arizona. Do you remember that one we did? There was a guy in Arizona, left his kid in the car or whatever. That one might be worse than this one. Might be more egregious than this one. because the mum was a doctor. 2-year-old girl or 4-year-old girl? Let's see. Was the girl 4? It was Christopher Schultes or whatever his name is. That's it. What happened to him? He pled not guilty in the death of his daughter in August. Are you joking? Hold on, here we go.
Two-year-old little girl.
The father, police say, left his 2-year-old daughter in a car for hours. This happened last month. That child did not make it. Let's get over to Brianna Whitney. You've been following this. It's just a terrible story.
It's an awful story. It's
Yeah.
also fairly rare how this is all going down. So the man in court today didn't say anything other than acknowledging he understands the charges and he and his attorney are entering a not guilty plea. First-degree murder is rarely a charge we ever see in an accidental hot car death, but court documents reveal why a grand jury may have come to that decision.
I will enter pleas of not guilty.
37-year-old Christopher Schultes in court Thursday, pleading not guilty to the most severe charge someone can face in the death of his young daughter.
First-degree murder is really, really extreme.
Louis Fidel is a Tucson criminal defense attorney unaffiliated with the case, surprised by where the case stands now. Marana police originally charged Schultes with second-degree murder, but a grand jury came back with first-degree murder and child abuse after reviewing the evidence. The difference between the 2 degrees is premeditation.
The text messages and the interviews, I'm sure those play significant.
Yeah, this guy has plenty of premeditation to the point where his wife had warned him several times not to leave the kids in the car. He would put the children in the car to, I don't know, let them sleep or something. And his wife had warned him several times. Not only that, he was drunk driving, went to a service station or whatever, bought alcohol, and was driving around after drinking as well. Not only that, apparently he was also speeding in the car with his children inside while drunk driving. The guy is apparently he did it so often and left the children so much in the car. His older daughter, who is now a teenager, I think maybe even a young adult, she's like, "Oh yeah, he used to do that all the time when I was a kid." So he has a massive history of leaving children in hot cars. Potter says, "What do you mean? Let it continue. She can't make him." Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, that's right. He shoplifted the beer. Right? Yeah. What a crackhead. He is a crackhead. Yeah. We'll see how that one goes. He pleaded not guilty. What an idiot. The thing that gets me about this one, though, there is Chris Schultes. The thing that gets me about this is that his wife advocated for him to be released from prison so that he could go home to his other children. Are you kidding me? What kind of coercive control are you under to write a supportive letter to the court saying, I need my husband to be released from jail for killing my child? Something makes me question your mentality and your mental fitness. Oh, I believe she is complicit in the death of her daughter, not directly, but because she knew of the issues with her husband and him leaving children in the car, and that she didn't take enough steps previously to stop it from happening once she knew it was a problem. That's what makes her complicit, even in her daughter's death at a later date. Yeah. This case is, I told you it was even worse than the other one we looked at. We do not know all the things. What all the things? Is Potter behind? Potter, are you live or are you behind by a bit? Chidemo says, yeah, she's like, come on back to kill our other children. I know, right? That's how I feel about it too. Yeah, I wonder why you would invite that man back into your home after he killed one of your children. I don't understand that mindset. Um, yeah, she's like, I have to get him released so that we can bury the child together. Oh, because she knew about it. Because she knew. I'm not saying uh, we should just blame women anyway. I didn't blame the mum and the other one, although I said if she is going to be charged and there's evidence, then she should be. But this lady actually knew. She knew about the entire thing. Justin? Who's Justin? I think that she just knew enough. Like there's text messages from her to him saying like, "Don't leave kids in the car," and you know stuff. And she still left the children with him. Like that's where the culpability comes in, because she was still okay with leaving them, even though she knew it was dangerous. I don't know if I have those text messages anymore, unfortunately. Hold on. I'd have to look them up. And I don't think I don't think I try to blame women for everything. This channel's one of the most women forward channels ever. Ah, the first one. Okay. Then Potter's behind by a little bit. But yeah, there was text messages between Schultes and his wife. I wonder if I can get them for you. Yeah, here.
Breaking news. Today we are learning more about the situation surrounding the 2-year-old left inside of a hot car in Marana. News 4 Tucson has obtained the interim complaint from Pima County, which reveals the father, 37-year-old Chris Schultes, allegedly got distracted last Tuesday while playing his game and putting his food away. We're also learning the car was parked in direct sunlight, and video surveillance also shows that Schultes did not check on his daughter not once while she was in the car. Afterward, the toddler was found unresponsive and taken to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. News 4 Tucson is learning that text messages exchanged between Schultes and his wife, they indicate this is not the first time the father may have left his children alone in the car. The wife sent her husband a text stating, quote, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" In which Schultes responded, "Babe, I'm sorry." The wife replied, "We have lost her. She was perfect." Well, former President Donald Trump
There you go. You feel for Justin? Is that the first one we listened to? I don't. Not at all. Not even 1%. I don't feel for anyone who kills children and leaves them in hot cars. I feel like what I said before, when you have children, they have to become your number one priority for everything. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't have them. I mean, that's just how it's got to be. Until they're old enough to fight on their own or join the army, you gotta look after them. You think it's a mistake? I don't. I think he was just so self-absorbed with his own rubbish that just like every story we read about children left in hot cars, there are some, like there's been a couple where the parents have had like a routine, and the routine has been altered for some reason, and then like they've like thought the child was at the daycare or whatever. That I can kind of understand because like new parents are really tired or whatever, and they're so used to working on a routine. That I can somewhat understand, but other ones not so much. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about, but that's more about what I think I just mentioned, where it's about routine because they're so used to doing it. That one I sort of get. Hey, Chinny, how are you? Rachel says, I think the seatbelt alarms are a good idea. Didn't they make them mandatory somewhere that if there's a weight on it or something and it'll keep like you won't be able to lock the car, it'll just keep going off and off and off and off and off. They're a good idea. I like that one. I like that one. That's better. Seems like we're split. We have a split decision. Angela says, put your bags or hose keys. What is a hose key? I don't often have hose keys, but it maybe in England or Scotland they do. No, no, you don't get to alter it now. You said hose key. What is a hose key? You now need to tell us what a hose key is. Spelling mistakes don't go lightly. You now need to make up circumstances where you would need to have a hose key. Are you a firefighter? Do you need to get a hose out from somewhere and you have a master key to all the fire hoses in England? April says there are vehicles that now remind you to check your back seat. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, so please explain. Tell us more about the hose key. I don't know. I just like you see the messages here, babe, I'm sorry. And then the wife's like, we lost her. She was perfect. You wouldn't have lost her if you took her out of the car. And then in which he responded, babe, our family, how could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real. What about the 400 times people told you not to leave children in the car and not to be an alcoholic and to actually bring your children inside and let them sleep in their own beds in the air conditioning in your home, not leave them in the car because you didn't want to disturb them. That is not an excuse for leaving your child in the vehicle because you didn't want to disturb them. I have 18 children. I just don't know any of them. It's with all the women I've been with. Jojo says the wife made very good money. She could have hired a nanny. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know what their finances are like. April says a child is not a gallon of milk. Oh, sorry, babe. Yeah, I left the ice cream in the back seat. It melted. I'm sorry, babe. My ice cream, it's ruined. What? Pantyhose. I didn't say that. They said that. I didn't say that. There was a comment. I just said maybe they could have done that. Like I said, I don't know what their finances were like. Um, I don't know, but I don't agree with a lot of the stuff the husband did, and I think that he's how do you plead not guilty to this? This one's different to some of the other ones. Some of the other ones are like there was that guy that left his kid in the car and then went to work. I can't remember his name. He went to he was supposed to take the kid to childcare. He went to the childcare. I can't remember, but he went to work instead and left his kid in the car. That one I sort of understand. At the same time, no, but I get when you're working on a routine and that routine changes. But this guy had this issue dating back to his first child, who I think is like 18 or something now. And she's like, yeah, my dad used to leave me in the car all the time. It's just so dangerous, especially in Arizona. They said that the day this child died, what did they say it got up to? Like 144 degrees Fahrenheit in the car. 144 degrees. That's like some cooking appliances cook at that level. What is that in degrees? 144 F equals C. That's like yeah, wow, that's so hot. 62 degrees in Australian temperature. Ross Harris, is that his name, the other one? What did Gambler say? Ross Harris. Is that the guy that went to work and then left the kid and drove home? Ross Harris. Cooper is the child. Okay. Is this the one I'm thinking of? No, I don't think it is this one. No, I know this one. I know this one that everyone's talking about, but it's not the one I'm talking about. Similar, but I know this is the one. Is this the one that went to trial like a couple of years ago and everyone was going bonkers over it? And everyone was like having like fights over it. One people were in this corner, the other people in the other corner. He did mean it, he didn't mean it. I don't think this is the same one. Cooper to daycare on the way to work. Eats for even Cooper ate breakfast. No, it's not the same. It's not the one I'm thinking of, but it is similar. The one I'm thinking of, like it was the. Wait. The one I'm thinking of is that the change in it was that he drove his wife's car or something, and that was the change because he normally takes his car, and he took his wife's car or something, and the wife was like, "Well, that one's got the car seat, so you have to drop the kid off at daycare." But instead of going to daycare, he just went straight to work, and then worked all day, and the kid died in the car. But I don't know, is this the same one as that? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so, but this is a different one. I'm pretty sure this is the one that everyone was fighting over when the trial was on. When the trial for this one was on, everyone was going ballistic and how he had all this he had an affair or something, that guy, right? He was like texting other women or something at the same time. I remember when the trial was on. Atlanta. Okay. Angela says, I personally would not have left my kids with him if he was my husband. You're talking about the Arizona one. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's the one we're talking about on the screen. I'm saying the one I'm thinking of is not the same one. I know this one, when it was at trial, people were very into the whole delving into that guy's history. So Cooper Harris's father, they were really going into his like back history, and they found like in his phone that he was talking to other people and talking to girls or women and stuff. I remember when I'm just saying I remember when it was at trial, but the one I'm thinking of must be a different one because there's no going to Chick-fil-A and all this. The one I'm thinking of, literally, it was just a husband and wife. They switched cars for the day, and the switching of the cars made it that the dad had to take the kid because they only had one car seat and it was in the one vehicle. And then he mental blanked and went straight to work. Left the kid in the car all day. Kid died in the car. Ah. So 2 more years for Justin Harris. He can get out in like 20 months or something like that. 20 months from now, he'll be a free person. Well, when was he sentenced? Charges dropped. 2022, he did his last appeal. So yeah, it was before then. So he was found guilty in 2016. And he was sentenced to life in prison without parole plus 32 years. They filed a new motion for a new trial, and they had that denied. In 2022, yeah, they said they did that in 2023. They're saying he was released from jail June 2024. Justin Ross Harris was released from prison. So he's already out. How do you get out after serving 32 years in 8 years? I don't know, it doesn't say here. But yeah, it says he was released in June 2024, so a few months ago. He is out of prison. He is no longer in jail. Oh, what? Oh, he got released and then immediately transferred? It says here, imprisoned at Macon State Prison, released June 2024. Hold on. Justin Ross Harris. The Wikipedia is a mess. Here, the father whose murder conviction was overturned in son's hot car death is released from prison and moved to jail. What's the difference? Doesn't it both mean that you're in confinement? They say a Georgia father whose murder conviction for the hot car death of his 22-month-old son was overturned by the state Supreme Court in 2022 has been released from prison, according to prison records. And then what happened after that? Here, though the murder charge was nullified, the court left in place 3 other counts related to his electronic exchanges of lewd material with an underage girl. He was sentenced to a total of 12 years on 3 charges, 10 years for 1 count of attempt to commit sexual exploitation of a child, and 1 year each for 2 counts of dissemination of harmful material to a minor. Prison records state his maximum release date as June 18, 2024. So how long are they going to keep him in jail for if he has a release date of this year? 2 years. So, okay, June 2026. He'll just like Potter said. Potter said June 2026. He'll be out. The baby, is it in that photo? There's him. There's the baby. There. There's the little kid. Yeah, that's Justin. Yeah, he'll be out in 2 years in June 2024. All right. That's it. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here for the night. And we can fight about children dying in cars tomorrow. That's not the point of the show, but sure, we could do that. I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow at we can do an earlier show tomorrow. I've been trying to do more late shows because everyone voted to do the late shows. So I've been trying to do them after Trish all week, but I don't know. We'll see. By the way, thank you to the people who are supporting the raffle for the 1 of 1 hoodie. I appreciate it. And I hope I said thank you to all these people yesterday. April, did I say thank you to you yesterday? I hope I did. I hope I wasn't a jerk and didn't say thank you. But thank you to Love You More, Sienna, Love is a Four-Letter Word, Robbie, April, and my friend Moonlight View. And just let me check here. And my friend Carla, and sorry, some people didn't leave their names, so now I don't want to use their. Oh, that's Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle, thank you. And yeah, all those people, I appreciate it. We're going to announce that in December. In December, we're going to draw that and get people their hoodie. So you just got to send in a donation, my friend. She is, but she may ban you. All right. Well, I really never have time, so we'll have to just agree to disagree. Not these days, anyway. That's right. And we'll announce it when we're in Tasmania in December. So when we go away to Tasmania in December, we're going to announce it at the wedding. So, all right. I love you all. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow night. See you tomorrow night. Have a great day. Have a great Tuesday. Have a great Tuesday if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, have a great Wednesday. And I will see you then. Yeah, it's a family wedding, so we have to go. And we're going to Tasmania for 4 days. So we're going to go down there, do the wedding and come home. Yeah, hugs to you too. It's good to see you again. Hopefully you feel better soon, okay? I don't like hearing that you're not feeling very well. All right, peace out. Good night. Bye.